So we will be doing a series on Xi Jinping and his journey, how he rose to power from living into caves to moving to Beijing and becoming the supreme leader of China and the Communist Party. We will start from Xi Jinping's father, Xi Jinping, and later in the series we will discuss the criticism that is often directed towards Xi Jinping and his policies. So, starting with Xi Jinping, he was a frontline communist leader in China, served in various important positions during Civil War period and even after that. He joined the Communist Party of China when he was released from prison in 1928, and by 1933 he was the chairman of the Shanxi Gansu area. In that time period, Mao Zedong was not considered as the very prominent leaders compared to others, because there were other Communist Party members who were very senior and were also the founding members, such as Zhang Lilisan, Wang Ming, Zhao Enlai. So they were these communist leaders were not confident about Mao's leadership, and one of the biggest rivals of Mao at that time was Wang Ming, who also established 28 Bolsheviks, and he was considered as the most prominent preferred leader as compared to Mao Zedong. So Mao, since he wanted more influence and control, and he had to make sure that nobody stand against him, and his actions will directly impact Xi Senior later on, because Mao started targeting his rivals, and in a series of rectifications, his rivals were forced to confess and self-criticize. And by doing so, he was able to present himself as a very prominent leader, as a flag carrier of the Communist Party. What he did that all the recruits that were joining the party from different areas, so the recruits from rural Yan'an were imprisoned, because there was suspicion that since they belonged to the previously controlled nationalist areas, they might be spies. So they were all imprisoned, and senior officers known as commissars were sent throughout the country to hunt them, and they used to order their arrest and even executions. And this rectification movement also impacted Xi Jinping, because he, among his fellows, were also imprisoned. Although the exact number of people killed during the time period is unknown, but it is believed that some 10,000 people were executed as a result of this rectification movement. And since Xi Jinping and his two other members, Liu and Gao Gang, who were a very senior communist leader and military commander, were imprisoned. So there was a time when their journey was seemingly coming to an end. But a few days before their execution, Mao visited the base and he somehow halted their execution. So what happened is that Mao continued his efforts and injected fresh blood of intellects in the replacement of senior people like Zhao Enlai as the counterweight. So there was a power struggle in China inside the Communist Party. But this event turned out well for them, because later on Mao Zedong established very close relationship with Liu and Gao Gang and Xi Jinping. Liu was later on sent by further expeditions by Mao himself. Gao Gang was a personal friend to the party chairman, and Xi Jinping remained a trusted leader for years to come. So Xi Jinping was not only a recognized commander, but was also a very sensible statesman. He preferred peace over the use of force, and worked to increase the economic output of northern regions. Over the coming years, he was recognized for his moderate policies and figuring out politic solutions to the conflict. He wasn't some ordinary human. His presence could be felt, and his vibes had the ability to change the atmosphere of the room. His charismatic personality made a very strong impact on both Mao and Dalai Lama. In 1954, when the 14th Dalai Lama visited Beijing, he was so impressed by Xi Senior that he presented him with his wristwatch, which remained with Xi as a precious belonging. And when his brother visited him in 1980s, Xi Jinping was still wearing that wristwatch. So Xi Jinping was serving in high positions when his son Xi Jinping was born on 15th of June 1953. By 1956, Xi was the elected member of CPC Central Committee and became the vice premier under the chairman Mao 3 years later. Life has a strange way of testing those who could stand any adversity, and Xi Jinping's limits were put to test again. Previously, he was imprisoned as a result of rectification movement, and now he was going to face another setback. Even though he had a stable position, but tables turned on Xi, in 1962 when a biography novel was published on the life of Liu, who earlier served with Xi Jinping in his early days in the northwestern regions. The biography was criticized because it alluded that the purge of a fellow comrade, Gao Gang. Actually, Liu and Gao Gang both were imprisoned with Xi Jinping as the result of rectification movement. So three of them were very close. So what happened is that interestingly, Gao Gang himself was purged in 1955 after his suicide a year earlier due to what is known as the Gao Gang affair. We will also look into that later. So Liu until then was considered as a martyr and he was given a great respect. But after that biography, he was stripped of all his honors and even his grave was ransacked by people because it meant that he was lobbying against a fellow comrade. So Xi Jinping favored the biography novel and was accused of supporting an anti-party clash. And in the later years, faced imprisonment. He was publicly shamed. He was demoted to a position of a factory manager. An ordinary man would have taken his own life or would turn sour for his country. But Xi Jinping's intentions were pure and his heart was open. We will discuss about Gao Gang affair later on. Because it is very important to understand what happened with Gao and this story of his purge from the party.